One of the interesting things, and looking at sort of your catalogue of albums, we've got Sinatra, Burt Bacharach, and most recently Sammy Cahn. Those are some of the singers that you have decided to sing their songs. What is it about their music that draws you to those singers?
The singers or the writers?
Yeah. So they didn't write their own songs.
No. No, I don't think the writers of the Great American Songbook get nearly enough credit, and definitely the lyricists rarely get, people don't know who the songwriters are, and particularly the lyricist. And Sammy Cahn is one of the great lyricists of the 20th century. And, Jimmy Van Heusen wrote a lot of the music, and Julie Stein. But Sammy Cahn's lyrics, what's great about him is that he wrote all along, but he really spoke for that era of the Rat Pack in Vegas and the cool guys, He put the words in Frank Sinatra's mouth and Dean Martin's mouth, and he was this little Jewish looked like an accountant, like Sammy looked like but he had a great sense of humor, but he looked like he was there maybe to do the books, And meanwhile, he just came with some of the hippest words ever. And I didn't think he got near enough credit. So that's what drew me to him.
Does that bother you that all anyone ever sees is the name of the singer, but they never see the name of the person who actually produced?
Yeah, I mean,
songs?
I did a whole show last year at the Carlisle, and I've done it in a few places called Wordsmiths, where I talk about that, and I talk about the lyricist. And people will come up to me. I mean, my mentors in music were Burt Bacharach and Hal David. But so many times in my life, people will ask me, well, why don't you do a Burt Bacharach song? Well, Hal David wrote the lyrics to 99% of Burt Bacharach's great songs. Never say, why don't you do a Hal David song? May not even know who Hal David was, There's a story back in the day of Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein when they wrote Showboat, that this very, fashion, high society lady decided to have a luncheon for their wives, and invites them over. So she wants to introduce them to her New York society friends. And she says, this is Mrs. Jerome Kern. Her husband wrote Old Man River. And Mrs. Hammerstein stood up and said, no, that's not true. And it kind of embarrassed her. She said, what, So, her husband wrote da, 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 da. My husband wrote Old Man River. That Old Man River just keeps rolling along, So that happens all the time.
It's important for them to have their moment in the spotlight.
Well, it's important that you know that there's words to these songs, and they always get overlooked more than even the songwriters. The lyricists get overlooked.
One of the albums I wanted to talk about, I'm fascinated by the fact that you made an album called The Disney Standards. It seems like a little bit of a departure from your usual sort of jazz music to hear songs like...
Well, we put them in that same field, though,
That's where I was getting. So you've got When You Wish Upon a Star, one of my favorites, Beauty and the Beast, that even though they are Disney songs, they actually do sound in step with your other music.
Well, that was Chris Montan's idea. Chris Montan's one of the really great music producers ever. I mean, he does the music for Disney. He's the president of Disney Music. And he was the one that hired me for Father of the Bride. Father of the Bride was a Disney movie. It was a Touchstone movie, both Father of the Brides. So Chris was kind of proud of me because he let me step out. I mean, they never let a music producer end up singing the main title of a major motion picture, but Chris did. And Nancy Myers and Charles Shire, who wrote, that was their film, they really liked it, but Chris didn't object to me being, and so it was his idea to say, why don't we take some of these Disney songs? They're just like the old standards. They're the old standards of ours, and do an album for us. And I did, and I was very happy to do it. I love Bella Notte on that album. Mm-hmm. We did a video that has the footage from A Lady and the Tramp, and they're meeting spaghetti. The little.
It's a great scene.
It's great. It's a great video of me live in a little cafe, like singing, and the characters are part of the video. Also, I got to sing a song with Dr. John on that album, which was great. Chris Bodie played on When You Wish Upon a Star. Had a lot of fun on that album. And the biggest treat was, if you buy that album, there's a picture of me and Mickey
Nice.
at the piano. Mickey's sitting, I'm pointing at Mickey, telling him how to sing, and he's like, and you can't do that.
Nope.
You have to be working for Disney to have a that's the only Mickey Mouse photograph, or drawing with me in it. That's something that I treasure, have in my house, that original artwork.
Nice. It's experiences like that you obviously are incredibly grateful for in your career.
Definitely. Who knew I would ever have a picture with Mickey?
Who knew this guy from Houston?
Yeah, right. Playing with the symphony.
Exactly. And something that's interesting, you obviously, you try to come back, you mentioned about trying to come back here to Houston at least once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And 2011 was a big year for you. You performed down in Galveston.
Right.
At the Grand 1894 Opera House. And that's part of your latest DVD, Coming Home, Steve Tyrell Coming Home.
I've finally made a DVD. I've made 10 albums, and time to time PBS has talked to me about it, and just never got around to doing so. I mean, I thought if I was going to make a DVD, I wanted it to be good, and I wanted it to be shot well, and that was the first time an opportunity came to me that you could do it in your home state, in the oldest theater in Texas, and then we could take footage from all the movies you've worked on and different artists and put it in there. It just came like to be a great idea to do, and we finally finished it, and I'm very proud of it. I hope people get to see it.
Does that makes me think that Texas will always have a special place in your heart?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a Texan. I'll always be a Texan. Well, you say you can take the boy out of Texas, but you can never take the Texas out of the boy.
Yeah. I like the one that I wasn't born here, but I got here as fast as I could.
So
there's a lot of
that's a good one too. Yeah.
That's the one I've adopted.